this landscape elephants generally do not cross Brahmaputra. Goalpara is like a destination for them. For a wild elephants, it's a Goalpara Garo Hills landscape. It doesn't know whether it's Meghalaya or Assam. It was a tripartite arrangement which we had made.
Yes.
Department, we had the NGO, Aranyak, and we had the community.
Namaskar viewers, welcome to another episode of Eco Heroes. I am your host Vijay Shankar Bora. Today we have with us Indian Forest Service Officer Mr. Tejas Mariswamy, who is a DFO in Goalpara Division of Assam Forest Department. As an Indian Forest Service Officer, Mr. Mariswamy has been working relentlessly in this division with the community, with various stakeholders, and especially he has been focusing on mitigating the raging human-elephant conflict in Goalpara district, which has a long border with Garo Hills area, Meghalaya. Mr. Mariswamy, welcome to our show, and thank you for your time today. Besides giving time for out of your busy schedule.
Sure. Thank you for having me here.
So, how long have you been posted in Goalpara?
I joined almost exactly 3 years back. 2023 June end I joined this division. So by June it will be 3 years.
Yes. So Goalpara is known for its precious biodiversity. This district has huge potential for agriculture and horticulture sector. But all we know that because of raising human-elephant conflict, the people are facing a tremendous challenge in pursuing their daily life, pursuing their economic activities and all these things. How, as a divisional forest officer, you have been trying to mitigate this thing? How has been the experience?
See, Goalpara as such, it's a Garo Hills Goalpara landscape. It's a greater Goalpara district. So where even the entire Garo Hills part was also part of Goalpara, it's erstwhile Goalpara district. The landscape is highly rich in biodiversity. So it has the plain land and the hills from the Meghalaya side. It involves a lot of good bird life also. We have a lot of wetlands, good wetlands here. So there is also very good population of mega species, elephant, wild elephant here. They specifically belong to this section, Garo Hills, Goalpara. Yes. If you observe these, this landscape elephants generally do not cross Brahmaputra. So you might have seen in Kaziranga landscape, they go across, they go towards north bank. But over here, like, they do not cross Brahmaputra generally. So they come to, it's like, they come down the hill. It's like Goalpara is like a destination for them. So they forage, they breed, there are very good wetlands. So then it's a cycle. They go towards Kanbu West, or they again go towards Garo Hills. It's a cycle. This is a very unique set of population here. Then of course, since we have a lot of increase in population, and a lot of Goalpara also face a lot of encroachment issues. So that's why the conflict is pretty high, one of the highest in the country. So as a department, we are trying our best to mitigate it. So mitigation, we have adopted basically, of course, two strategies. One long term, which has to be revival of the habitat. That has to be the primary strategy. Okay. So for that, under the leadership of our Honorable CM Sir, so our division, in fact, has been able to evict more than 1,000 hectares in the last 3 years. Okay. And also our department has been, we have a policy, it's been followed right from the highest level also, whichever area is being evicted, it should be immediately planted. It's not just about, there's a lot of illegal occupants, households which have been evicted. So that has to be immediately revived. So those plantations have been taken up. So, and in those places where we have done the eviction, there has been tremendous decrease in human-elephant conflict. In fact, Lakipur is one such range. Okay. Lakipur is one of the range in Goalpara. So where we used to have around 12 deaths prior to this eviction, human deaths, and then there were 2 elephant deaths also. So last year we saw only around 4 deaths. That also is like, our target is to bring down to 0. Of course, the mitigation cannot be achieved at a short term. Yes. It has to be long term. Yes. So this revival of landscape is our primary strategy, and within short term, for for example, the existing whatever conflict we are facing, so that has to also be reduced. So there has to be immediate some actions which has to be taken up. So for that, we have actually technically divided conflict into segregated the conflicts. One is of course the farm depredation, farmland depredation. Second is of course household damage, human life, loss of human life.
Okay.
So we have divided these two, and then we are adopting different strategy for it.
Yes.
Primarily, our initial over there also our more primary focus is now on how to reduce the loss of human life and then damage of the households. So what we have observed is that Goalpara, we have around 100 plus forest areas and very small forest areas, interspread with a lot of villages. So invariably, wild elephants have to, when they go from one forest area to another forest area, they cross human habitations. And generally they cross through the farmland or like some other fallow land, and in between where there are villages, there are some opportunistic stray. They go into the house habitations, and then there was damages.
Okay.
So then there is no solution if we completely block the path of the elephant. Yes. It gives no solution. So only thing is that, is there a way where we can allow the elephants to pass through, and then without blocking the corridor of the elephant, the traditional path of the elephant, we can secure the household section. So initially, I think there were some fencing practices which were tried. So when I joined Goalpara as a DFO, when I first went to Lakipur, I saw Aranyak had developed one low-cost fencing. It was a simple bamboo fencing, say bamboo pole, single strand, and around it costed much less than 80,000 a kilometer. Otherwise, if we had used concrete post, it used to come in lakhs. It used to be very high. It's like it was scaled very high. Now, since we have a lot of we have mapped the conflict villages. On an average, approximately we are on 180 plus in all 4 ranges villages. So if we have to cover, if we have a strategy where without blocking the elephant, if we enclose the village, the fencing also, it's not about blocking the elephant route. It's just about, if there are 30 households, we are just covering. It's an exclosure of that village. Okay. So it's like the elephants have their path free, but then they will avoid entering into the household. Okay. So and then we thought, like, if there are so many villages, concrete post and big schemes will not be possible to scale. So this low cost methodology will be very easy, because over here, so in that case, we had submitted a proposal to government also. Our government is also very much steadfast on reducing human elephant conflict. So under SOPD scheme, there was a fencing proposal which was approved. So we adopted same strategy. We called initially both Aranyak and WWF initially to be part of this project implementation, where we could actually officially engage Aranyak into it. So, and then we were the department was funding the equipments. Aranyak was implementing it. It's not just about implementation. It's about training. They were about training our staff as well as the local villages to manage it. So like this way, in the last 2 years, we have covered around 42 villages across 4 ranges in the district, has been covered through the solar fencing, and this has relatively given a very good result. In fact, like the fencing which were very old, I think 2-year-old also, that is also even today it is functioning very well, and it is managed by the local people. Now what this has created, earlier when there used to be movement of elephant, so generally people used to be on their feet. They used to be little worried. They could not sleep properly. They used to be outside the home. In fact, it was like elephant were also entering the habitat, and people were also disturbing the elephants. So it was like it was a difficult kind of this thing. So when what we have observed, where we have created this village exclosures, where village is surrounded by the fence. So whenever the elephants come, now the people know that they have to be inside the fence. Yeah. So there is no disturbance on the elephant path, regular traditional path. The interface is reduced, and people are at peace. People are able to sleep properly, and elephants are also not disturbed. Yes, exactly. This is what we are trying to achieve. So our target is to probably touch all those 180 villages as far as possible. If the village is exactly coming in the elephant route, that probably will not be possible to fence. We'll have to adopt some other strategy. But wherever it's possible, we are trying to achieve that. So this is what we are trying to do for minimizing the human life and loss of damage to households. Then again, for regarding the other depredation, farmland depredation.
Yes.
The fencing cannot be a solution there because generally elephant, when they pass through those land, like even if there is fence, it's like if it comes in the traditional path, it's not possible to hold it off. So we were looking at increasing compensation and other factor. And good news recently came where Government of India had approved. Even just say we have this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Earlier, elephant conflict was not part of the insurance
Scheme.
and recently it's been approved that human wildlife conflict, farm depredation by elephant or like any wildlife is also considered under Bima Yojana. And it's a very good scheme. I think this is going to be, if it can be adopted at scale, like if it can be promoted, made people to secure their crop, this is going to help a lot because the insurance premium is hardly 100 rupees per person per hectare. And it covers paddy, and they are paying around approximately 65 to 70,000 per hectare as an insurance.
So it's a very good development because so many people have stopped farming, stopped cultivation because of fearing depredation by the elephant. Now they can do that because they will get the compensation if it is just right.
Exactly. Earlier there was also another problem that there is in Assam, there is something called an Adi system where I own the farm, I don't farm it, like somebody else is farming it. So initially we had this issue of whom to give the compensation. Like we are dependent on the farmland document. Earlier it used to be like owner, not the cultivator. But under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, there is a provision to compensate the cultivator.
Actual cultivator.
Not
the landowner.
Exactly. So this is actually going to help a lot. In fact, we are now trying to, our staff is trying identifying all the conflict villages, and they are going to get them registered under this scheme. So this is going to be a very good step. This has been a very good step for mitigation.
So protection of livelihood for those people who are living in that elephant prone areas. That will be very beneficial.
Exactly.
Of course. And how has been the community's response towards your short-term efforts like this solar powered fencing that the forest department is implementing here in collaboration with Aranyaka? How has been the people's cooperation like?
See, generally Northeast and Assam Northeast, people are very tolerant. They are like they traditionally they consider wildlife as a part of their culture. So it's like even without fencing, I used to see that there was not much agitation. There were people were very tolerant. But once of course they were getting affected, they used to come to us like what can be the solution. The earlier only thing we were able to do was like we give compensation. Now with fencing, when this solution has come, and a lot of people are effectively taking up. So now initially there was a question mark on whether bamboo fencing will survive because bamboo post, it's not a concrete post. So it can be damaged instantly. So it's like there are a lot of question mark. So our entire strategy was, it was a tripartite arrangement which we had made. Department, we had the NGO Aranyak, and we had the community. So we all three used to sit together. So if we want to scale this fencing, so there has to be a regular source of funding. So government had funded us for the fencing. Now this has to be not just about implementing the fencing. It has to be, people has to be part of that maintenance
to maintain the fencing.
So they were made part of even implementation. They were being trained, and regularly team is going and training them, monitoring it also. So now this normally in where even concrete posts have failed in 1 year, our bamboo fencing has been very much successful till today, even after 2 years of construction. That is purely because community is participating.
Proactive participation.
Exactly. And community participation in turn has increased better bonding with forest department
and the community.
So this has been a good effort in the sense, like when our team goes for anti-depredation duties, community is there with us. It's not like they are in a two different team, opposite team. They are the same team who are like they're part of
tackling the same problem.
Exactly. So it is helping us a lot.
And there is a volunteer group that we have learned. We have formed. The Aranyok has formed that ECN,
Yeah.
Elephant Conservation. Those volunteers have been helpful, I think, in the effort.
Yeah. In fact, see, elephant movement, of course, like it is always important. Early information dissemination is very important. So it's like the WhatsApp group, ECN group, WhatsApp group is helping a lot. In fact, we get to know where exactly elephants are. We get the videos. We get photographs. If there is anything, even if there is any injured elephant, we get some details. So we get to know the details a lot. A lot. And also, I must also say that in the last year, Government of Assam has also we have this new scheme, Gajamitra scheme. So we have actually formally organized volunteers into Gajamitra units.
Yes.
Currently, we have around 15 Gajamitra units in Assam, and they have been given logistics. In fact, very recently they were given the logistics, and so that they can actually effectively be our extension, of the forest army
in the field areas.
in the field areas.
How many of those are allotted in Goalpara?
Currently, there are 8 volunteers in each Gajamitra team, and there are 15 Gajamitras.
In Goalpara, do you have some of them? In Goalpara,
Yeah. In Goalpara, we have 5 Gajamitra in Lakipur range, 5 in Goalpara, 3 in Rangjuli, and 2 in Krishnai.
Okay.
Like that.
And
there is scope for expansion also.
Okay. So this solar powered fencing you have already told is a short term solution. The main thing lies in the habitat restoration and
Yes.
And beyond those things, that the problem of wildlife and expanding human population, it has become such that people have to now learn to coexist with the wildlife. Not only elephant, but lots of what. So how do you think that how should we educate our children from the school levels that it has become part of our life to remain to coexist with the wildlife in certain parts of the world? What do you say about that?
As I said, the entire Assam Northeast population, generally it's a part of their culture. It was already, but then of late, of course, with development, so the culture which might be getting eroded. Already there is some anxiety among the people regarding human elephant conflict. When anxiety builds up, it might turn into hostility. So at that point of time, if we just say we have to coexist, that time it might not make sense. So we are also promoting, I think we are taking up at a higher level, if this coexistence can be a part of school curriculum, instead of just a random one-off awareness activity. So we are trying to take up, we are this is now recently, after recent formation of the new government, is a part of our forest policy, forest education, involving education department. So this we are trying to develop into a part of school curriculum, where from the kid itself, from the child itself, a kid is being told about stories, and then so that he is gradually that culture which was actually very prominent in Assam is retained in the coming days also.
It become a formalized sort of thing.
It has become formalized,
part of the education system.
Exactly. That's where I think the ultimate solution will lie. Of course, we have to continue to do with village exclosures and then habitat restoration. Along with that, this soft component is going to be very, very helpful.
Yeah, you already mentioned that Goalpara's forest spread of the forest portions are such that it intersperses with the human settlements.
Yes.
So interface with elephants is imminent.
Yes,
it will happen.
Yes.
So if people learn to coexist, then it will definitely help.
Exactly. In fact, there are two different challenges which we face in Goalpara. One is there is a state boundary, and other is in our forest within Goalpara. Our forest itself is spread. It's like a mosaic spread across human settlements. So what happens? One is that since for elephant it's when it comes to state boundary, for wild elephants it's a Goalpara Garo Hills landscape. It doesn't know whether it's Meghalaya or Assam.
Yeah.
So we are also, that's why we are in recently we had this landscape management plan which was being prepared under APFBC, Government of Assam. So there it has been taken up how both the states, both the administrative units, both the forest department on both sides, villages on both sides can be brought in same platform, so that it's they do not sometimes we have seen that people try to not they say that it's coming from Assam, we say that it's coming from Meghalaya. So that fight ultimately will lead to conflict more, and then it will not give good result. So somehow we are now trying to bring them on same platform. We are already last couple of years conducted World Elephant Day together. Regular meetings are being held at border villages.
You mean Assam Forest Department and Meghalaya Forest
Assam
Department?
Forest Department, Meghalaya Forest Department, and regular meetings are held at the border villages. So even staffs, we are trying to have common meetings so that we can discuss how best together we can solve it, because we should not act as two independent opposite
of course,
entities. It has to be collective action. So that is now now it is also going to be more formal. And secondly, about the interspersed human habitation between small forest patches, that again, of course, school curriculum we are trying to do, and then the mitigation efforts and Gajamitra is all these things all going to help in the long term.
In the interstate borders, how is the coordination between people to I mean people to people coordination? The forest departments are trying to coordinate. That's fine. How has been a traditional coordination between the people of the both the states regarding this problem?
See, generally it's good, but when it comes to economic loss, sometimes we tend to weigh obviously we feel like because we see that at a loss as more than these things. Obviously, it result in some conflict at the border areas. So that's where we are now trying to create one additional solution. See, a lot of our landscapes are under commercial plantations, so which are not suitable for elephant habitats. So we are now, suppose if we want to make it into a suitable elephant habitat, we also have to look into the fact that if there are some tribal population, their livelihood is not affected. So there has to be one solution where they are also able, their livelihood is also secured and habitat is also restored. And that's how the conflict will also reduce. And people, we are trying to create a win-win situation. So one such scheme which has been approved by government of Assam is the bamboo plantation scheme. So where initially we have one experimental plot has already been done, and it has given excellent results
in Goalpara.
In Goalpara. So we have taken up around 230 hectares.
Where is it? Under which range?
In Rangjuli range near Dhupdara. We have two reserve forests, Athiabari Reserve Forest and Devsila Reserve Forest. So the reserve forests were under actually encroachment. There were a lot of actually tea gardens and betel nut gardens and everything. So then we had to talk to the people. So we had to if we directly go on debate, say we are challenging the livelihood. So livelihood again it becomes conflict. We sat with the people. We found a solution how best we can ensure their livelihood also by securing the forest, because tea garden anyway is a non-forest activity not allowed as per law. So then we came out with this solution of bamboo plantation, where the department will fund the bamboo plantation. We will execute the bamboo plantation through the JFMC organized by the villages. In the current case, we have formed 3 villages into single JFMC. So it's that JFMC is implementing the bamboo plantation, and funding everything is done by the department. Now land will still be forest, but then the community, the JFMC will be given the harvesting rights. And we have an estimate where in 100 hectare, so JFMC can generate, once the bamboo plantation is successful, say from the 5th year onwards, and from 100 hectare, a JFMC can generate a minimum at a very conservative estimate, assuming that the production is not very efficient. So it's a very assuming just lower than 50% efficiency, they can generate up to 60 lakh in a year, and it's a recurring income every year, and 100% revenue goes to the village. So this model, already which we have planted 2 years back, success in the sense the plantation has come excellent. It is in a position by 2029 they will be able to harvest. And earlier, the elephants which used to go to the village, now they are in the bamboo plantation. So the conflict in those 3 villages has absolutely become zero, and people are also very happy. And then
there is a prospect of earning more.
The livelihood is secured, and forest land is also secured, because it is directly under protection of the local people. If any other external person
can settle down there,
illegal some settlement is there, they won't allow it. So that's now that 3 villages are now part of our forest department. So that's model we want to scale it. So
part of the forest return in protecting the forest land, protecting the elephants, and mitigating
all the 3 objectives are achieved. One, livelihood is secured, forest land is restored, and for elephant there is a very good habitat. So the three objectives which we wanted to have, it is achieved. So it's like, this being a successful model, now we are trying to scale it in different levels. So after 230 hectares this year, we have taken additional 150 hectare in Goalpara itself. So there's a lot of scope. So, and this can be scaled even to Meghalaya. So that can be
they can also
that can be additional this thing. So
it is being implemented, experimented only in Goalpara division or any other parts of the Assam also?
Initially it was experimented in Goalpara. Now because of it became successful. Like bamboo plantation scheme as such has been approved under Campa, state Campa. So now it can be taken up in any
part of the state.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And I have one question beyond ACC.
Yeah.
It is for the young people, young students who are aspiring to join this novel service, because forest service officers are doing novel job in given the critical situation our planet is in. The protection of forest and biodiversity is a great responsibility nowadays. Any aspiring young people want to join this service, what they have to do? Just give a tip there. That is for the greater interest.
See, one thing I must say that IFS service as such is very fulfilling. If you really love nature, if you want to experience something real nature, then this is a very fulfilling service. You will be very satisfied. You will have a very good experience in your life. So if we want actually people who are actually interested to come into forest service, and those who really aspiring, they have to. It's very simple. Like this exam needs only consistency. It doesn't need you to be extraordinary talented. It needs you to be consistent. Like if you are preparing something, you should be very consistent, very disciplined. It's like if you have to apart from knowledge, also improve your knowledge and how to put your thoughts into words. Because in the exam that is where it all translates to you. So if you know something, if you're not able to put it across, that also is so it's like you need to read extensively, write extensively, and then have confidence. It's like it's a very you can obviously clear it. Of course, one thing I must say, if you love nature, this is a extremely fulfilling profession to be in.
So then tell us how you personally got interested in Indian Forest Service. Did you plan it from initial stage of your student life, or it came sometime later? How you got interested?
To be frank, we had not much idea about civil service. So I happened to be in the NIT Surathkal. Then during the final year, it used to be see, I always of course loved traveling. But we had not much idea about civil service as such. So we were like into during final year I had a selection in Satyam, and it was 2009. You might know there is an incident where Satyam itself there was one issue, it went down. So and then there was a recession. Then a thought came what to do. Then my friend was preparing for civil service. But civil service, like as such, during my preparation time itself, I was not my preference was not on administrative or police service. It used to be my last preference. In fact, my first preference was initially foreign service. Then we also wrote forest service. So it was either foreign or forest. But when we joined forest service, what exactly we had not much idea like that time. So I was too keen on travel. So then when we joined the academy, when we went into, like in the academy we have this introductory tour, and so where we sent to Ranthambore one national park. We went to Ranthambore, and 3-4 professionals are kept in the camp for a week. So we stay with in the camp for 1 week. So that really changed. So it's like then I thought like there is no better service than forest service. Okay. This is something which otherwise we would have not experienced in life. It's like if we are in any other job, not just service, any other job, this side of life, this side of nature, or like normally we stay in cities, otherwise this part of we would have missed it. So then I thought like this is where I need to be. So then I did not look at any other exams.
Okay. So you sound very happy in this.
Yes. The 1 week experience over there, So that was
Change
first time
everything.
staying in the national park. I mean, that's a, if I tell about the entire experience at the different podcast, it has to be like, it's a
Yeah.
very big experience.
Mm.
It was lovely. That really changed. Then this is where we want to be. So it's like, that's luckily, I'm actually, to be frank, lucky to be in this service.
Thank you. Thank you. Assam Forest Department is also lucky to have a dedicated officer like you.
Thank you so much.